Hello and welcome. Tonight, Nigerian northern governors ban unlawful processions by religious groups in their region. Nigerian army commutes the death sentences passed on 66 soldiers earlier in the year to 10 years imprisonment each. The Nigerian Navy arrests ship loaded with products suspected to be crude oil in Delta State. And China accuses the U.S. of serious provocation after it flew B-52 bombers near one of the disputed islands in the South China Sea.
On business news tonight, Fitch Ratings upgrades United Bank of Africa PLC's viability rating to B from B-.
And on sports news tonight, Chelsea appoints Gus Hiddink as interim manager until the end of the season following the sacking of Jose Mourinho.
And Sulaiman Alede will begin tonight in Kaduna, northwest Nigeria, where the 19 governors that make up the Northern Governors Forum have been meeting to unravel the factors responsible for last weekend's clash between the military and members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria. The meeting, which lasted over 3 hours, was called at the instance of the host governor, Nasir El-Rufai, to identify the remote and immediate causes of the incident and come up with ways to ensure that the crisis does not spread to other states in the region. At the end of the meeting, the forum resolved that henceforth processions in the region must be allowed only with police permit and protection as prescribed by law. Chairman of the group and the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, said the governors are committed to ensuring that hoodlums are not allowed to take advantage of the crisis to foment trouble in the region.
Madam El-Rufai is a man on the ground. He knows the subject matter more than us, and he knows the steps he deemed most suitable after his extensive consultations. So we are not here to do his job. However, we are here in connection with what happened in Zaria. Yes, because the issue has to do with an Islamic group that has membership across the 19 states in the north and beyond. We want to look at how to ensure that the incident does not provide room for anyone or group to perpetuate violence in any of the 19 northern states. We already have at our hands the serious problems of Boko Haram to contend with. We are not in any way comparing the Islamic movement with Boko Haram. No. But we don't want the same mistakes that happened over the Boko Haram crisis to repeat itself.
The Nigerian army has commuted judgment in the case of 66 soldiers convicted to death by firing squad in January and March this year by separate general court-martials. The soldiers will each now serve 10 years in prison, and the sentence is to run concurrently. According to the Director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, this decision followed an order by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to examine the merit of each case. The soldiers were part of 71 soldiers arraigned on several count charges, including criminal conspiracy, conspiracy to commit mutiny, insubordinate behavior, and false accusation, amongst others. They were tried and discharged on some charges, but found guilty and convicted on other charges, including mutiny. 5 others were discharged and acquitted, while 1 was sentenced to 28 days in prison with hard labor. The case of the other soldiers is still being reviewed and will be made public once the appropriate reviews are completed. The Nigerian Navy Delta State has arrested a ship loaded with 670 metric tons of product suspected to be crude oil on the Forcados River in Delta State. Conducting journalists around the 106 meters long boat named Ayua, which was arrested on the 14th of December this year, the Flag Officer commanding Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Akpochi Sulaiman, says the Nigerian Navy is relentlessly winning the war against criminal elements sabotaging the nation's economy.
For the NNS Delta Command, as its record of arrests of suspected oil thieves and their ships in the last 2 months within the command grows. An elated flag officer commanding the Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Apochi Suleiman, leads the inspection and parade of this ship, Eyuwa, intercepted on the river Forcados in Delta State with 670 metric tons of suspected crude oil.
He came on the 13th and had taken 670 metric tons of crude, of products suspected to be crude or stolen crude. She came back, or she was on her way back to fill up. She was arrested. And like you can see, the two vessels, they are there's a resemblance in all their dealings. They are designed for stealing crude, nothing else.
Rear Admiral Apochi Suleiman reiterates the goal of the Chief of Naval Staff in repositioning the Nigerian Navy.
We have said it again, time with time number. We shall make this business very, very unattractive by keeping the waterway constantly under patrol. I've directed that for any arrest, the ratings and the officers should be rewarded. And that is exactly what we're going to do with this group that made this arrest.
Commodore Rahimi Mohammed is the commander, NNS Delta. He speaks on the new tactics being used by the bunkers since the recent onslaught on their illegal trade.
And I can say within 1.5 months, we have achieved so much that not much is taking place again within the creeks around us. And that's why we have expanded now, and we're going to the open sea.
The Nigerian Navy NNS Delta Command has recently been making bold statements in line with the Chief of Naval Staff's commitment to make the Nigerian Navy a more viable institution through intensified crackdown on illegal oil bunkers in the area.
Still on security matters, smugglers of contraband goods may continue to develop ingenious ways of concealing their products. Officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service have also upped their game in detecting the mode of operation. This is seen in the latest seizures effected by men of the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja, Lagos, who intercepted a truckload of frozen poultry products disguised as used tires. Men of the unit in 2 other operations also intercepted 82 jumbo bales of used and new clothes and handbags, stolen cars, all of which runs to millions of naira in duty-paid value. Addressing journalists at the unit's premises in Ikeja, the controller, Mr. Sani Madugu, advised those in the act of smuggling to desist or risk being caught.
They have constructed something from the frontage and demarcated the main compartment with the remaining part of the compartment, which they sealed it, so they now use it in loading frozen chicken in the compartment. So when we arrested them, we brought them down here. My officers are at alert. I have told you before. They are at alert. Wherever the smugglers enter, we'll get them. We'll get them. They take 1 step, we take 2 steps ahead of them. We intercepted them on the express. You can see the concealment. Used tires and few good ones, they are used, all of them. They have used it as concealment so that we don't detect them. By the time you open, if you get to the end of the cabin, you will say nothing is in this container. This one you are seeing right now, we had to break this compartment for us to access the frozen chicken. You can see it from here. The total number is yet to be counted, but it's large quantity. We arrested this man and we brought him. Incidentally, this vehicle has been identified by a woman to have been stolen at gunpoint. Today, we are showing you the vehicle and our suspect that we are going to hand over to the police. It was snatched at gunpoint on 3rd Mainland Bridge here in Lagos, while we caught them on Lagos Ijebu-Ode Benin Expressway. That was why we intercepted them. So we were lucky to get one of the occupants of these 2 vehicles. Others have took to their heel.
It would seem everyone is working towards the deadline given to them by the president on meeting the December deadline, as all security operatives are on the alert. A 21-year-old housemaid and her brother have been arrested by detectives in the Crude area of Lagos State, southwest of Nigeria, for allegedly masterminding the robbery of her employer. It was gathered that the suspect, Gloria Chukwu, had called her employer at work to inform him that all robbers invaded their home, carting away electronics and other valuables. However, a team of investigators at the State Criminal Investigation Bureau traced the theft to both the maid and her brother.
The arrest of this nanny, Mary Akinloye, by men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of Lagos Command in April 2015, weeks after an alleged second kidnap operation for ransom. A sudden disappearance with 3 Orekoya children, few days after she was engaged by the family, came as a shock to many parents.
It's my madam that called him that he needs somebody, so agent to bring me 3 months to get him 4 months.
Months later, 20-year-old Gloria Chukwu, who hails from Ebonyi State in Nigeria's south region, was employed through an agent by the Oshoyemi family in the Crude area of Lagos. On this day, the maid raised an alarm that the home had been robbed with valuables carted away.
I told my madam that my mom is sick. She did not say anything. No. So, as they tell me that if my mommy did not bring money, that she's going to die. That is the reason why I packed this thing and tell my brother that he should sell many a price.
I bothered the boss, long for. She keep on directing me on phone where I should meet her. Fortunately, to one unknown bus stop, she said that I should stop there and wait for her. In a quiet too, open on my eye, I saw her coming with a bag. As she approached, she gave me the bag. I asked her, what is in the bag? She said that she's going to explain to me later on phone.
Luck, however, ran out on her when she was queried by detectives and the alleged robber turned to be a brother.
They use some of the technology and the experience, the professional experience that gathered to find out that that tablet was still being used and is in operation that night. So they were able to trace the area where they are using that tablet, and it was discovered that they found the tablet in the custody of the sister to that same household, who eventually confessed, which led us to getting to know that it was the housemaid that arranged with her brother to rob the house and pack the master properties.
Although all stolen devices have been recovered and both suspects have been charged accordingly, it serves as another wake-up call for parents to properly profile persons admitted into their homes at all times.
In part 2, after the break, a review of the security sector in 2015. And our guest is Najim Shobo, a retired Army colonel. Do stay with us.